no marrying men, no giving birth, no dating men, and no sex with men.
Punish the men who voted for Trump, because now we can get both birth control.
But you're being offensive. You're selfish. I just saw a woman post a video of her little girl, couldn't have been more than 5 years old, with cancer, with a bald head, saying that she's held her daughter numerous nights because her daughter was crying because when she lost her hair, she didn't feel beautiful anymore. So basically what you're saying is you're trying to make yourself unattractive by shaving your head because you don't like the president that was elected. Do you hear yourselves and see yourselves? Like, enough is enough. Grow up. Your entitlement is disgusting.
So don't be all in my comments like, oh, you're a man, stay out of these conversations. She said it, bruh. She said it. I can talk about what I want to talk about. All right, y'all. Here's why I love the 4B movement. I think it's great. I think it's, yo, if you are not married, I think you should absolutely abstain from sex. I think that's great. I think that's great. You should do that. You should focus on the Lord. I know that's not why y'all doing it, but maybe while y'all doing it, maybe y'all could focus on God. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's great. That's great. This might work out in our favor. All these women who are so upset, so distraught, so heartbroken that Kamala Harris lost. All these women who said, you know what, I'm going to join the 4B movement, which we're going to talk about what exactly the 4B movement actually is, because it was created in South Korea. And this is not something that the intention of the 4B movement and the people behind the 4B movement is completely been perverted once it got over to the States. Like, once the mainstream media started talking about the 4B movement from South Korea, and once American women found out about it, they pretty much just picked and choose what they wanted to from that movement and applied it to themselves, completely forgetting the original reason why it was created in the first place and whom actually created it in the first place. But that's besides the point. All these women who are upset about Kamala Harris losing, and y'all are gonna punish us when you ain't punishing me because I'm married. So, you know what I'm saying? I gets mine. Respectfully. From my wife, obviously. So you ain't punishing me. I'm chilling. But all y'all men who are supposedly being punished by these women who ain't gonna give it up, that's great. Focus on God. You know what I'm saying? Get right with him first, then get married, and then do the thing. But they saying that they're saying no sex, no marriage, no children, and basically no men in general, like no dating in general. So they're just gonna be lesbians. They just gonna be lesbians, I guess. That's what they said. I didn't say that. Hold on, I got a video. Can I play this?
4B movement.
The 4B movement.
The
Okay,
4B
cool.
movement.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Wait, stop. I can play this. I can play it. Let's play it. Let's go. NBC News.
4B movement.
The 4B movement.
The 4B movement. So what is it? Actually, a fringe feminist campaign from South Korea. The 4Bs, Korean for four no's, no marrying men, no giving birth, no dating men, and no sex with men.
There is so much pressure in South Korea for women to have kids, and women felt extremely undervalued. So they have sort of banded together to not kind of give into these societal pressures.
South Korea has the world's lowest fertility rate. Now, Google searches for 4B surging to record levels in the U.S. as one of its top trending searches in the last 48 hours. Trump's Supreme Court picks helped overturn Roe v. Wade, unleashing a wave of protests nationwide. His position on abortion access has varied, but during the final stages of his campaign, saying states should decide.
Whether the women like it or not, I'm going to protect them.
The Trump campaign did not respond to a request for comment on the 4B movement.
4B movement.
The 4B movement.
I'm not sure why they would comment on it. So, okay, that's the American perspective. But remember, it started in South Korea. It started in South Korea, right? I want to play this.
What's 4B movement?
P is actually a Chinese character for saying not to do. So 4B means females do not want to have sex. They do not want to date Korean men. They do not want to marry, and they do not want to give birth.
So why do you think that particular ideology or these catchphrase became this international thing where even BBC and CNN, they're only talking about, oh, this is because of 4B movement?
And I think it's because it's really catchy, and it's quite very much related to the low fertility rate. But it's not a general mainstream idea. Most of the females, they do not want to get married or give birth because of many other reasons. For example, like unaffordable house prices and child care that they need to undertake even when they are working. Those are the main reasons why they do not want to give birth. But it's not like they do not want to date or they do not want to have sex, you know, with guys.
Very interesting point. American women are doing the 4B movement because they hate Trump and they feel like their birth control has been taken away. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm going to show you a video of a woman who literally said that her birth control was taken away from Trump, by Trump. So that's why American women are doing it. But from a Korean standpoint, where it originated, they want to have babies. They want to have kids. They want to get married. Economically, they feel like they can't. It doesn't make sense for them in their situation. They feel like it's too expensive. They can't afford a home. So then the thought of bringing a child into the world where they can't even afford a place to live is daunting. The thought of having to just hand your newborn to a stranger in the form of daycare, quote unquote, is daunting because they have to go back to work to provide because everything is so expensive. So it's totally a different perspective as to why they created the 4B movement. And also in South Korea, the 4B movement it's a very small group of people who actually subscribe to that movement. It's a radical group of people who are doing it. The vast majority of South Koreans, and this is crazy, the vast majority of South Korean women, they want to find a partner. Do you understand? The business of matchmaking in South Korea, where they try to find a man and a woman and put them together to get married, to have children, to grow a family. That is such a huge business in South Korea because so many people want that. It's only a few handful of radical individuals who started this 4B movement who are participating in it. But now it's come over to the US because the mainstream media picked it up. It's become trendy and popular and hot. And now all these women are jumping on the bandwagon without actually knowing what it actually is. But here's a crazy video. Let me play this. This is from Daily Mail. This is interesting.
You can't have sex with us then, since we can't have birth control.
After the election results, liberal women are going viral protesting against Donald Trump.
No more kitty cat for moderate men.
No dating, no marriage, no childbirth. We're going to be out here asking New Yorkers if they think this is too drastic or if it's warranted.
I just don't understand how that correlates with politics, but
good luck getting laid.
I don't think it's too far.
They're taking back control. Bodily autonomy is a right and shouldn't be privileged.
I think it's a bit ridiculous and absurd, but to each his own. I'm not knocking it, but
if they are like saying that nobody should do that, then I don't agree.
Do not look at them. Do not laugh at their jokes.
They feel that that's a proper movement, then
punish the men who voted for Trump, because now we can get both birth control.
Who told you that you can't get birth control? You! I'm speaking directly to you. I'm looking into your eyeballs. Who told you can't get birth control? This is what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say the word because I don't want that little like panel underneath my video that says like, this is what it really means. And this is the truth. This is the facts. I don't want that panel underneath my video. So I'm not going to say the word. But when you're, pregnant and then you go to the little spot to get the little, the little thing that, is people want to act like it's not a big deal, but it's literally murder. When you go and do that, that's not birth control. That's not birth control. That's not birth control. You have plenty of options. You have plenty of options for birth control. You going to the clinic, Planned Parenthood, to literally crush your baby is not birth control. That's not birth control. What right did you lose? You did not lose the right to birth control. You could still have birth control. You actually didn't even lose the right to crush your baby because it's at the state level. So go to a state that's friendly with it and y'all can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But like I said, while y'all are doing this, I suggest you mix God into that equation. You go ahead and do the 4Bs and then you mix God into that equation. Hey, I support it. I support it. I'm for it. I'm with it. So why is my computer doing this? Come on, bro. What's going on? Why are you doing this to me? I'm locked. I can't get out. Look, she's on my screen. I can't get her off my screen. Hold on. Oh, I found it. I got it. Okay. There was another video I want to show you. Hold on. There was another video I wanted to show you. It is... Oh, there's actually a couple. There's a couple videos. Because one of the things, one of the elements... Oh, this is interesting. One of the elements to the 4B movement is women are shaving their head to be unattractive, quote unquote. So women are not having sex. They're not dating. They're not getting married. They're not having, giving birth to children, which, these women didn't want to do that anyway. They whatever. And they're also shaving their head to make themselves unattractive, which is like, bro, why do you got to go? I don't get it. If you're choosing not to date, why do you have to say, okay, I'm going to choose to make myself quote unquote unattractive, which is crazy because you're spitting in the face of so many women who are battling cancer. You're spitting in their face and calling them ugly.
I'm not going to keep quiet anymore because I just saw the most heartbreaking video. To all the women who decided to shave their head in support of this 4B movement, stop it. And not stop it because you can't do what you want or have freedom to do what you want, but you're being offensive. You're selfish. I just saw a woman post a video of her little girl, couldn't have been more than 5 years old, with cancer, with a bald head, saying that she's held her daughter numerous nights because her daughter was crying because when she lost her hair, she didn't feel beautiful anymore. So basically what you're saying is you're trying to make yourself unattractive by shaving your head because you don't like the president that was elected. Do you hear yourselves and see yourselves? Like, enough is enough. Grow up. Your entitlement is disgusting. There's actually women around the world that are oppressed. You live in the freest country and no matter what you think, you haven't lost one right. No one's bothered to answer my question or list the rights that you have lost because you haven't. You're living in a delusional world. It's called get some mental help. Go to a therapist. You've created an imaginary world that you believe is real. Roe v.
Hey, she said it, not me. That's a woman. So don't be all in my comments like, oh, you're a man. Stay out of these conversations. She said it, bruh. She said it. I can talk about what I want to talk about.
Korean women have no idea what the 4B movement is, and we need to stop this misinformation.
Okay, so thank you to my friend Annie for making that video because I am a Korean woman currently living in Korea and I have so much to say about this topic. So most of the 4B movement videos that I've seen on TikTok are made from foreigners and I think Korean Americans or just Asian people living in the West, but not actually people living in Korea. So like I said, I live in Seoul. What I think is happening is the Western media likes to really pick up on these sensationalist, provocative topics and then makes it into an article and then everyone on TikTok follows suit and makes videos about it. But let me tell you, I am 29, going to turn 30 this year, and literally all the conversations that I have with my friends around my age is about, oh my god, we looking to get married, we need to find good partners, and we need to do this before it gets too late or we're just like aged out of their marriage market, you know? And I just made a YouTube video about this, Korea's population crisis, why nobody's getting married or having babies. But I also explained there are services in Korea like marriage matchmaking services where people go and you pay a broker and you submit all this information about yourself, your income, your assets, your family background, if you have any debt, like which university you went to, you submit all that information, and then they take that and then they will try to match you up with people who they think that you're on par with. So you know how you see in K-dramas how like the poor girl ends up marrying the richest CEO of Korea? Yeah, in reality that never happens. So people go to these marriage services and they're heavily used. There are literally so many in the country because everyone is using them. And so the 4B movement in Korea is a very, very small fraction of the whole Korean population in general. It's just the Western media likes to highlight that part and make it seem like it's the biggest issue in Korea, which it really is not. I can promise you that. Don't believe all those sensational articles written online all the time. Most people in Korea still like the other sex. We want to date, we want to find love, we want to get married. Those are like the big majority. And it's only the small group of extreme radical misandrists and extreme radical misogynists. They just seem like the loudest because the most attention goes to them. But yeah, I literally just dropped a YouTube video explaining about this whole thing. So go.
So, okay, that was Annie Lee. So, like I said, it's a small group of radical individuals who's created this movement. The vast majority of women in Korea want to get married, want to have children, want to build a family. So I think it's the same thing here. Like, I think the majority of women in America, and this is crazy, so let me go ahead and speak for women, even though I'm not a woman. But I do think the majority of women, they want to get married. They want to have a family. If the economy was in a position where it was more affordable to raise children and women didn't feel like they had to, you know, stress out about childcare and finances and cost of living and all this type, I feel like it would be much more desirable. But I feel like a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of men, families, you know, people are just thinking like, yo, how can we make this work? How is this going to be possible? And they can't see a way to grow a family, build a family in this current economical environment. And that's sad. But let's not sit here and act like the desire is completely lost, because I think the desire is still there. I think, unfortunately, because of things like the 4B movement, because of, you know, so many things that have ultimately caused us to solely focus on ourselves, we've become a little selfish and we've become a little bit lost when it comes to the incredibleness and just the overall experience, the life-changing experience building a family is, and having, you know, kids and raising kids, and it's a beautiful experience. And I think it's in us. Like, we want that, but there's just so much stuff out here that makes us seem like it's going to be more difficult than what it's actually going to be. And it is going to be difficult. It is tough. It's difficult. Like, it's difficult, you know, but it's worth it and it's beautiful. And I think that if you're able to, and I understand not everyone's able to, unfortunately, for whatever reason, health-wise, have children. And if you're not able to, then adopt children, because there's so many beautiful children who are just waiting for a loving family to, you know, wrap their arms around them. And that might even be our path at some point too, to adopt children, you know? So I don't know. That's my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think. All right. Get in my comments, like this video. I'm out, y'all.